backlash against the woke people has begun, and it's just getting started. These people aren't afraid to run their nonsense in our faces, so why should we sit quiet? Warning: sensitive snowflakes may melt in 3, 2, 1.
Men do not menstruate. Only women menstruate. Now, you can call yourself whatever you want.
Cis men don't menstruate, but trans men do menstruate.
No,
Same
they
as
don't.
non-binary people.
Only women.
Menstruating is not exclusive
Yes,
to
it
cis
is.
women. No, it's not.
Yes, it is.
So explain to me as to why my body menstruated at some point.
If your chromosomes are XX and you're young, you menstruate. If you're XY, you don't.
Correct, but what about trans men and non-binary?
They're
We're
not
excluding
men.
a whole group of people
They're women
that
dressed
menstruate.
as men.
Well, what's a man to you? You define a man for me.
You have chromosomes that are X and Y. That's what a man is.
So why are we just looking at the science of this as an example, when we've learned sex and gender identity are they're completely different things.
They're not completely different.
They are completely different.
Completely different words.
And sex is what you're born with, the sexual reproductive organs you have. Gender is what you identify with. They're completely
Well, I don't
different
accept that
things.
distinction. You have to argue for it. You're just giving a conclusion. You're just making it up.
Wait, so now biology is a suggestion? If you've got XX chromosomes, you're menstruating. Feelings don't change that fact. Science class called It Wants Its Basics Back.
Today, a lady that was involved in a car crash, actually linked to one of my circle of friends, she died because your protesters, Just Stop Oil, were blocking the road and the ambulance couldn't get through in time. She couldn't get the help she needed and she died. Earlier you said that you are a peaceful protesters. My friend is dead. How do you answer that?
We have a blue light policy, which means whenever we have roadblocks, as soon as we hear sirens, we see the blue lights, people move out of the way, and we have never had any complaints.
Who pays for your accommodation at university?
My student loan.
Have you ever paid any bills in your lifetime?
No.
So you don't know what it's like to be a homeowner and not to be able to afford your energy bills. If we stop oil, how much more expensive do you think fuel's going to be, Phoebe? Or is it that you're just spouting out words that you and your friend think look good?
Ah yes, blue light policy. But apparently that didn't work this time. While you're too busy blocking roads for protest, real lives are at stake. What's more important, virtue signaling or someone's life?
You said several times, you've used a phrase, I want to make sure I understand what you mean by it. You've referred to people with a capacity for pregnancy. Would that be women?
Many women, cis women, have the capacity for pregnancy. Many cis women do not have the capacity for pregnancy. There are also trans men who are capable of pregnancy, as well as non-binary people who are capable of pregnancy.
So this isn't really a women's rights issue.
We can recognize that this impacts women while also recognizing that it impacts other groups. Those things are not mutually exclusive, Senator Hawley.
Oh, so your view is that the core of this right then is about what?
I want to recognize that your line of questioning is transphobic, and it opens up trans people to violence by not recognizing them.
Wow, you're saying that I'm opening up people to violence by asking whether or not women are the folks who can have pregnancies?
I want to note that 1 out of 5 transgender persons have attempted suicide. So I think it's important
because of my line of questioning? So we can't talk about it?
Because denying that trans people exist and pretending not to know that they exist.
I'm denying that trans people exist by asking you if you're talking about women having pregnancies?
Do you believe that men can get pregnant?
No, I don't think women can get pregnant.
So you are denying that trans people exist?
And that leads to violence? Is this how you run your classroom? Are students allowed to question you?
Absolutely.
Or are they also treated like this? Where
No,
they're told that they're opening up people to violence?
We have a good time in my class. You should join.
Oh, I bet.
You might learn a lot.
So asking a basic question about pregnancy is now violence? When facts become offensive, we've truly entered clown world. Last I checked, biology isn't up for debate. Men can't get pregnant.
Keep referring to pro-choice people, pro-abortion. I don't think everyone is pro-abortion. I think it's pro-choice.
Pro-choice to do what?
To do what they want with their own body. Yeah, but that's doing what they want with their body.
I'm against abortion. Are you for abortion?
I don't think it matters. I think it matters what that person wants to do.
Well, you can be pro-abortion, you can be anti-abortion.
No, you...
I mean, if abortion's so good...
Okay, you're saying it's black and white.
If abortion's so good, why are you waffling at this?
Okay,
if abortion
you think
is
it's black and white.
if abortion is simply the removal of unwanted tissue, does nothing wrong, why are you having a hard time saying you're pro-abortion? Just accept the damn word.
What, abortion?
Yeah, say you're pro-abortion.
Why should I?
Why won't you?
Because you want me to.
Pro-choice, pro-abortion. Let's not play semantic. If it's just a simple removal of tissue, why not just own the label?
Assuming your husband came to you and he said, I don't want my children to date anybody who is engaged in any kind of prostitution whatsoever, ever. I don't want that, and I'm going to advise them against it, even if they found the Lord. Would you respect his decision?
You're really making it like that's the worst thing you can do, but there's sin and it's hidden, and why don't we talk about those things? Those are the things that are worse. And he used Mary.
I thought there was no such thing as a worse sin.
Your husband's viewpoint on dating and prostitution sounds pretty rigid. It's like saying no one can ever change or find redemption.
To try to assign reality or any meaning to a homicidal maniac writing a manifesto, which, by the way, let the record show, also stated Spyro the Dragon, the child's cartoon, as a source of inspiration. He also cited Nelson Mandela as a source of information. I don't think that Nelson Mandela has inspired mosque shootings. You can correct me if you think I'm wrong. You would rather assign meaning to a homicidal maniac than to actually address the things that I said today that are actually harming Black America. Number one, father absence. Number two, the education system and the illiteracy rate. Illegal immigration ranks high, abortion ranks high, white supremacy and white nationalism, if I had to make a list again of 100 things, would not be on it. This hearing, in my opinion, is a farce, and it is ironic that you're sitting here and you're having 3 Caucasian people testify and tell you what their expertise are. Do I know what my expertise are? Black in America. I've been Black in America my whole life, all 30 years, and I can tell you that you guys have done the exact same thing every 4 years ahead of an election cycle, and it needs to stop.
Wow, it's almost comical how you're trying to find meaning in a homicidal maniac's manifesto. Spiraling into cartoons for inspiration? That's a stretch. But hey, let's talk about the real issues affecting Black America, like father absence and education, rather than chasing after sensational narratives that distract from the true problems.
We took LGB and then we added LGBTQIA+++, and then we included men who dress up like women and mock women. It's okay if you're proud of your sexuality, but why do I have to be proud of your sexuality?
Why are you so triggered by a flag? It's a rainbow flag.
I'm not triggered by a rainbow flag. I'm triggered by the fact that everywhere I go for a calendar month, everything has to be a rainbow flag.
Well, I'm triggered that everywhere I go for the entire year, everything has to be straight. Why is straight
Where's
everywhere?
my straight flag?
Why am I constantly
Where
getting
is
straight?
my straight flag? When have you ever seen a straight flag? Where's my straight flag?
It's everywhere.
There's never been a straight flag.
Both of you are straight, and you're saying you're exhausted.
How do you know I'm straight? How dare you guess my sexuality?
Let's not play games here.
How many letters are there now in the
That's such
official?
a pointless question.
How many are there?
I don't even know.
How many are there?
I don't need
exactly
to know.
my point.
I don't need to know because it's not about
There
the
are so
letters.
many letters now, we can't keep up with it.
It's not.
Interesting how you think adding letters to LGBTQ is somehow mocking women.
Imploring you to go beyond what, just really consider what is this fight really about? Why is it such entrenched? I know we hear a lot about religious liberty, and quite honestly, I grew up in Christian education all through college. I don't remember any of my doctrinal classes mentioning only male and female, and that's the way it should be. If you feel it is, awesome, good. You get to believe that. You don't get to impose those beliefs on anybody else. And that's actually what religious liberty is that your right to believe that is protected, but the other person that identifies as something else is also is right to be protected. So I guess I'm here to say is, with Oshkosh Pride, we're paying attention. And we're going to be involved in this conversation if it keeps on going.
I think it's absolutely ridiculous that you guys are even considering letting bathrooms and locker rooms being co-ed. I don't care how they identify or whatever kind of delusion people live in, whatever kind of mental disease that they have. Boys are boys and girls are girls. It's simple and basic. It's always been that way, and that's why we have separate bathrooms. I'm not going to allow my girls or my boys to shower with the opposite sex because I don't want them fondled or tainted by one of these deranged people sexually.
Wow, it's interesting how you think religious liberty means you get to dictate bathroom policies based on your beliefs. Just because you don't remember your doctrinal classes mentioning anything but male and female doesn't mean it's everyone else's truth. If you are new, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.